This is the second time I'm recording this. The first time was 24 minutes, and I was like, I'm not even touching or editing that because I could make it shorter. Anyway, I was on Steam, saw bada bing, bada boom. Not this. I was looking up here. I was like, whoa, attention Steam Workshop creators. Oh boy, this is something important. And here we are. We have Steam Workshop creators. Can we have your attention? The following message is so urgent, so time sensitive. We made the executive decision to skip TikTok, Twitter entirely, break the glass on here. Blah, blah, blah. Wow, you're probably thinking, I forgot how hard reading is. Yeah, it's scary how fast you lose that. Don't worry. The last few Team Fortress summer events have only been item updates. This year, we're planning on shipping a full-on update-sized update with items, maps, taunts, unusual effects, war paints, and thank you, the Cosmic Shake. War paints, who knows what else, which means we need Steam Workshop content. Your Steam Workshop content. So get your work, go back to work, whatever. Anyway, make sure you get your submissions into the Steam Workshop by May 1st so they can be considered for this as yet unnamed, unthemed, but still very exciting summer situated update. Okay, and then there's like a 200 lines, but not summer themed. All right, so what this means is we're getting not a major update, but not a small update. And what I would consider a small update is Screamfortress. You know, that something like that. I'm assuming this update is going to be along the lines of Team Fortress 2 Invasion update or similar to the Team Fortress 2 Tough Break update. Community centered for the most part. It says with items, obviously we're going to be getting cosmetics and stuff. And it also says who knows what else. And when it says items and who knows what else, it makes me think maybe it would be cool if we got a new weapon / item. Like I'm talking new. Has new stats, like not a reskin, like a full-on new item. That would be sick. This is also crazy because I just released not too long ago my 2 videos talking about that Valve doesn't care and is doing nothing. And it's still, my point still stands. They kind of make this seem like it's more, I mean, it is more than it is, but we've gotten new maps with every update. So usually how TF2 works, I'm going to explain it for everybody because I know all of you play TF2 and already know this, but every year, so we get new cosmetic cases. Usually in the summer, we'll get a cosmetic case. The winter, we get a cosmetic case. And then we will also have Scream Fortress. We've always had Scream Fortress, summer, and winter. We've always had those 3. We usually don't get new maps a lot of the time with the summer / winter update, but we do get a cosmetic case and, you know, new items and stuff. And Scream Fortress is usually a little bit bigger. We usually always get a couple new maps with Scream Fortress and whatnot. And again, just like they say here, with items, which can also pertain to cosmetics, which we've always gotten because they always release a new case every holiday. Maps, which we also have gotten regularly with Scream Fortress and even with the winter update. And I don't know if we've gotten a map with a summer update recently. I could be wrong. But when it says maps, again, just this last Scream Fortress, we got Crasher, which I bring up Crasher specifically because not only is it a new map, it's a new game mode. So Crasher is a full-on new map and game mode. So maps aren't really new to us. Obviously, I mean, we're going to get into it more, and I might sound like an ass saying all of this. I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying that I want people to realize that everything they said here is not new content yet. It's not like we've never gotten new unusual effects. We just had unusual effects for. Did we get new unusual effects this Christmas? I didn't even play during Christmas 2022, so I have no idea. I would assume we did. I know we got a new cosmetic case, and we got a new war paint case, too, this last Christmas. It's not irregular to get war paint cases, although this war paint case, by the looks of it, isn't going to be summer-themed, so it's just going to be actual new cool war paint skins, which I like. I like that. Even if we didn't get any during Christmas, During Scream Fortress, we got a bunch of new unusual effects. Granted, now you can only get those unusual effects from that case specifically, but during Scream Fortress event itself, any case you opened was going to have a chance to drop that new unusual effect. And taunts aren't new either. I think it was Scream Fortress, or maybe it was a Christmas update. I thought it was for Scream Fortress. We did get a couple new taunts. That's getting new taunts isn't new to us. I think we've gotten new taunts at least every year the last couple of years now, since the Jungle Inferno update. So taunts again aren't new to us. Maps aren't new to us. We get those regularly for the most part. Like we usually get a new map every year, a couple new maps, community maps. Items again, cosmetics we do usually get we 100% get cosmetics every year. Obviously, it's the cases, new unusual, but then again, these unusual effects are probably going to be themed or mostly not themed, and these will probably be effects that are along the lines of burning flames, scorching flames, effects that you'll be able to get all year round on any case. Like they will be added to the pool, I would assume, of effects that you can get on anything whenever. And then war paints aren't really new either, but still, it's like obviously I'm playing it down. I'm acting like or saying the way I'm saying it is kind of playing it down, but again, I'm not trying to play it down because they even say themselves, this is an update. They're actually it's going to be packaged nicely. It's going to be packaged as a new update, and it's going to be a big bundle. We probably haven't seen this many items, this many things in one update before, is basically what they're getting at. It's like, yes, we get new cosmetics every year, multiple times. For Scream Fortress, we get new cosmetics. For Christmas, summer, we get new cosmetics, 3 times a year. Sometimes it's only new cosmetics. It's only a new cosmetic case. And maybe one, a war paint case, or maybe new taunts. And that's it. Whereas now we're getting everything all at once, which makes it obviously, that makes it a bigger update because you're getting everything and not just one thing. And yeah, I don't know. The one thing that I said in the recording before was that I do 100% believe, they haven't said it themselves, but I do 100% believe that hashtag Save TF2 helped push this forward. Undoubtedly. I don't want to say I'm against the hashtag Save TF2, but I never cared for it. I was like, yeah, that's dumb. I'm not gonna, hashtag Save TF2, whatever. I'm glad the community's doing it. And again, it pushed it to the mainstream. It pushed it that news articles and news websites were talking about this, like big news websites, just random news websites. It was getting that big. It was blowing up that much. There was a bunch of YouTubers that didn't even play TF2, or at least, that on their YouTube channel, and were, talking about this. It was making pretty big waves. So obviously, personally, most people can agree that that probably had something to do with this. My thing, and the reason why I bring up the hashtag Save TF2 is because hashtag Save TF2 happened like an entire year ago, right? Like it's been at least a year since that actually started, or at least over 6 months, maybe not a full year, but it's been a long time since the hashtag Save TF2 blew up. Since the TF2 official Twitter, they tweeted, TF2 community, we hear you, we love this game, we know. This tweet happened May 26th. It's almost been a full year. It's been 8 months since this tweet was made. This is cool. I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong. Something that I'm going to say that I think we all know is TF2's done. The Jungle Inferno update was the last major update. We don't need content. That's what I'm trying to get at here. I'm going to be, because this isn't something like being mean, like, oh, TF2 is never getting new content. Valve hates us. No, we don't need new content. We don't need, to an extent, a major update. We've had 12, TF2 has been out for like over 10 years now, 12 years or something. We had almost 9+ years of constant updates, including major updates, a new major update every so often. We were getting new content constantly. We were getting major updates for years and years and years. TF2 is a well-versed game. TF2 has so much content in it because they added so much content over years and years and years. And don't get me wrong, the Jungle Inferno update, I think it was over a year until we got, since our last major update, that we got the Jungle Inferno update in 2017. And now it's been the longest ever. It's been like, what, 2017, 23. It's been 6 years. It has been 6 years since the Jungle Inferno update. I know some people are going to be like, but you were the one talking about how we should not give Valve money so they can say. My whole thing with that, when I made that video and talked about it, my biggest complaint and the reason why I made it was because Valve doesn't communicate with us. Valve hasn't said anything. Valve isn't willing to say they're done with their game. For obvious reasons, I said in that video, I was like, yeah, of course, they're not going to come out and say, we're done working on TF2 because they don't want people to think, oh, they're not going to make any more content for the game. Plenty of games have done this, and I was kind of comparing it to Terraria in this way. A company, a dev studio, and it's happened before, dev studios have done this with games, can come out and say, hey, we're done making major updates for this game. We will still, there's just major updates. We're not going to big content because there's no reason to. And the example I used was Terraria. Journey's End was supposed to be the last major update for Terraria. They were still going to bug fix the game, add small things here and there, do small things like TF2 has been doing since the Jungle Inferno update. We've gotten new cosmetic cases and new taunts and new maps since the Jungle Inferno update. We've gotten new things like that, just not an actual major update like close to that, or similar to even a smaller big update like the Invasion update or the Tough Break update. That's fine because TF2 has had so much content like Terraria, where Terraria's had years and years of major updates, so there's nothing wrong with, the devs of the game saying, hey, we're done with major updates. We've done a bunch of content for years to come now, 10 years. There's not really a lot that we feel like we're willing to do because we've completed so much, we put so much into the game already, 10 plus years. Because again, this isn't a major update. This is just, as they say, a full-on update-sized update. They don't call it a major update. They call it an update-sized update. So to me, that's not a major update. That's like a tier below it. It's not a small update. It's bigger than Screamfortress, but it's not major. Who knows? Maybe it'll end up being just this major update, like as, the size of Jungle Inferno. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that, but that's fine. Again, I would love if the TF2 dev team came out and was like, hey, everybody's been thinking about it or saying it. Yes, we're done with major updates. But we're still going to release smaller content or maybe update-sized updates in the future. We're just not doing major content because, there's no reason. They don't need to. They don't need to add new weapons constantly and all this stuff. And even if they come out and say we're done releasing major updates, and they can still release a major update. I think Terraria did this, but from what I know, the Journey's End update was said to be the last major Terraria update, and then like immediately 2 to 3 months later, or like within the same year, the dev was like, we're doing a crossover update with Don't Starve or whoever it was, and it was going to be another major update, or the dev being like, hey, this is our last major update, this is the end game. And then immediately, like a couple months later, was like, guess what? We're making another major update. We said we wouldn't, but because they're still the devs of the game. They can do what they want. They can say something. They could say they're done working on the game and then proceed to make more content for it. There's no reason for them to stop. They don't have to. And I think that if Valve did come out and just say, hey, we're done making major content, we're probably done. We're not really, nobody's working on the game. We have one guy that works on the game, barely even touches it. Like, we're going to keep doing the community content. We're going to keep doing Screamfortress every year. We know you love that. We're still going to do small stuff like that. We might even do an update-sized update every once in a while. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And then even if they wanted to, 3 years later, after saying they're done with major updates, they can drop a major update. Because at that point, we don't expect it. We're not in the cold or in the dark about, are we going to get new content? Like how it's been since Jungle Inferno. The Valve hasn't said anything. They didn't tell us, hey, we're done with major updates. They just left us. They ghosted us. It took us forming a huge mass in this hashtag and then getting literal like news websites and journalists involved in all this until it like blew up. Your grandmother heard about hashtag Save TF2 genuinely. And I think this update proves to an extent that they are done with the game. Not that this is the last update. I'm not saying that. I'm saying because of how long it's been since that tweet they made. The hashtag Save TF2, when Valve tweeted, or the official TF2 account tweeted, hey, we hear you loud and clear. That was 8 months ago now. All this blog says, hey, workshop creators, start making more content because we plan on making an update. That's all it is. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, Valve definitely was working on this before they announced this, undoubtedly. They were probably working on it and planning it out. But for 8 straight months, only for them to say, yeah, we're adding new items and stuff and whatnot, and just make new content because we need unthemed workshop content and whatnot. Just so you guys know, make new content. Like, it doesn't take you 8 months to announce to people that they should make content for your game. What probably happened is Gaben or whoever was the lead of this, they tweeted, that tweet happened. They're like, okay, we have to tweet about it. Like, yeah, we see TF2. There's clearly problems. We see the bot problems. We've known about it. Tweet something. Let them know we hear them. And then they probably said, all right, we should do some kind of new update for them, make something, make some new content. This community clearly cares about the game and we should do something for them. They got this big hashtag, all of this went on. Let's do something for the community. Then they said, all right, you could, let's think about this for a few months or whatever. And then they went off about their day working on Dota 2 or, whatever, or working on Counter-Strike content. And this was just, it was on the board. This was on the board. Hey, TF2 is now on the board. We should do something for this game. It's there. And then it probably took them 6 months to go, okay, what ideas do we have for TF2? Well, okay, let's do this. A new, it's going to be a kind of bigger update. It's going to be a full-on update, but not a major update. We don't know that. Could be a major update. Could form into one, but okay. And then here's the ideas that we have. All right, this. Okay, let's put out a blog post and tell people that, hey, we're making a new update, submit stuff to the workshop, and, let's just move on from there and start working on it. So to me, it was 6 months of, push it to the side for right now while we figure it out. Which, because if we would have known about this sooner if they were full on working on this since the tweet. And maybe they were, but it's weird that it's taken this long for them to say something like this, Like, I get it. We still have a lot, the community has a lot of time to make content for the game, until May 1st. So what? That's 3 months. So we still have, 3 full months, 4 full months almost. But come on, they were definitely like, let's put out that tweet and then let's just put TF2 on your mind for a few months and then we'll come back to it. All right, let's do everything else, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, like I said, to me, TF2 is kind of complete. We don't need giant major updates. We just want friggin' communication. Just don't leave me ghosted. Please don't just ghost us. That's all we don't want. That's all we want. Just don't ghost us. Because I said in the last video, I was like, you have to stop spending money on TF2. And again, I kind of do still agree with that, especially with the fact that they left us on red for so long with that tweet. They tweeted out and then they just didn't say anything or do anything since then. And it was like, okay, well, is anything going to happen? It's been almost a full year since that tweet. That's the problem. And they haven't said anything. It's been 8 months. Like, you ghosted us for 8 months. You said, hey, how's it going? And then left and then ghosted us for an entire 8 months, 7 to 8 months. And then it's like, is something going to happen? Think about it. Is it really that difficult to make a tweet even 6 months after the fact, after your original tweet, and say, TF2 is still on the mind. Don't worry. We're planning something. Anything. You could just leave it. They could have tweeted out literally just TF2 in all caps, just TF2. The TF2 official Twitter could have tweeted out TF2 in all caps, in December. And everybody would have been like, all right, like, okay, at least like they're doing something. Like, they could have released a tweet saying, we're working on it. And it would have been fine. It's just the fact that they don't say anything. Again, it has been years, 6 years since the Jungle Inferno update, and they said nothing until 8 months ago, 5 years after the last major update. And the only thing they say is, we hear you, community. That is all they said. Yeah, it didn't promise, right here. It didn't even promise anything. It literally just says, TF2 community, we hear you. We see how large the issue has become and we're working to improve it. That's all they said. They said issue, so they're clearly referring to the bots. This has nothing to do with an update or anything, because I remember this tweet went out and everybody was like, they're going to update the game. They're going to make an update. This and this are two different things. This is them saying, We hear you about the bot problem. We're trying to fix it. I think I said this before. It might not be public or private. I think I even said it in the last TF2 video. Valve has known about the bots. Like, it's been a problem with the game. They've undoubtedly been fixing it, but they've known about the bots before the hashtag SaveTF2 even started. Undoubtedly. Who knows? For all we know, this is a major update in disguise. It's a full-on update. Let's just tease them a little, and then who knows? I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited for this. This is cool. This is great. I still think that the hashtag SaveTF2 thing is so dumb. Like, especially I hated seeing people in servers with it in their name. It's like, dude, just create a Twitter account, make a tweet, and be done with it. Like, putting it in your username, who gives a shit? But whatever, I'm not going to stop people from doing that. And I'm glad that people love the game and are willing to voice their opinion to an extent. I mean, hey, I'm somebody that voices my opinion on the game quite frequently. I'm here making this video right now. You're here watching this video right now. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, good evening, good night. I'll see you in the next one.